Hey there guys, I'm back to another video. Today I'm here to talk about my most anticipated games of 2025, my top 10 if you will, but it's all very loosey-goosey if I'm being honest. These are just 10 games that I want to play in 2025, and honestly the categories don't really matter. It just has to be a game that's confirmed for 2025. But I'm going to kind of break the rules here for the first one. For example, Switch 2. The Nintendo Switch 2. Let's talk about that real quick. Because obviously there have been leaks and rumors flying around everywhere for like the past 6 months to a year. And now this stuff is becoming very, very real where stuff is leaking out of the wazoo. And yeah, I'm gonna just take this as an opportunity to say when the Switch 2 comes out, I will be there. I will be in attendance and hopefully I will have a console for myself and I will talk about it. Don't know what the launch lineup's gonna be. Mario Kart 9's a part of it, sure. If a 3D Mario somewhere in there, sure. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, I think that might be the most reasonable launch window lineup game out there, sure. I feel like the reason why we haven't seen anything official from Nintendo is the fact that they are manufacturing the console, and on top of that, they're making sure their developers are making the games, so when the console does come out, they got a nice streamline of games to release as the console is in its infancy. Because obviously that was like a huge problem with the Wii U, was that like the Wii U just had no games, and also the marketing was bad and a bunch of other stuff that were, you know, sort of bad with that console. But hey, you know what? We got the Switch now. The Switch is like one of the best, if not the best Nintendo console of all time. It has sold the most. You know, it might be, or the Switch 2 might be just as powerful as PS4 Pro, which some people think is like underpowered or whatever. I think that is completely fine. Nintendo has been behind for years and years and years, but yeah, that's where I stand when it comes to the Switch 2. I'm excited. I will be there and all that good stuff. So don't know what's going to happen. Don't know sort of the launch lineup or anything like that, because obviously Nintendo's keeping it mostly under wraps, but we can assume a lot of things such as probably Mario Kart 9, Metroid Prime 4, and probably a 3D Mario game somewhere in there. Whether they come out this year or not, I don't know, but I'm excited for it. All right, next game, Assassin's Creed Shadows. This is a game that was supposed to launch at the end of last year, 2024, but has now been delayed to the beginning of this year on February 14th, Valentine's Day, which is kind of crazy. You know, there's a lot of cool things releasing on Valentine's Day. I think the Captain America movie's releasing on that day also. Anyways, Assassin's Creed Shadows, they are finally jumping to Japan, guys. They're finally doing it. And the game looks great. You know, using Yasuke as a character, I think is very interesting and also very, very cool. You know, I watched the Yasuke anime on Netflix, which was okay, and then it went really anime towards the end, which I kind of didn't like. I liked it when it was a lot more grounded and sort of just like telling the story of Yasuke, who was and is the first black samurai and all this other stuff. So yeah, you know, I wonder how Ubisoft is going to tell that story within Assassin's Creed Shadows, because I feel like, especially with all the things that are going on surrounding Ubisoft and all of their previous titles, such as Star Wars Outlaws especially, they need a W somewhere. And I think Assassin's Creed Shadows, if it doesn't get good reviews and it doesn't get good reception, Ubisoft might be done. So we'll have to see what happens there, but I am excited to see that game, and hopefully I will play for myself, because it honestly has been years since I played an Assassin's Creed game. I think the last time was Assassin's Creed 3 on my Xbox 360, because that was about the American Revolution, which I was learning about at the time within middle school, and I thought it was so cool to play as Connor, I believe was his name, in Assassin's Creed. I was like, okay, this character is so dope, so cool. And I haven't played a Assassin's Creed game since. Even though I bought some of them over the past couple of years, I just haven't sat down and played them. Next game we got here is one that is hot off the presses from the Game Awards. We got Split Fiction. This is a game made by the same guy, Joseph Fares, who made A Way Out, and notably It Takes Two. That won Game of the Year at 2021, the Game Awards. So yeah, I'm excited. I love all of his games so far, especially It Takes Two. I feel like that was such a fun and amazing co-op 3D platformer, and it also had so many different genres in there that it actually worked. Like every single different gameplay style of that game just worked, and it looks like Split Fiction is doing that same thing with a different storyline, with a lot more sort of sci-fi fantasy elements to it, a lot of more weird stuff going on. And I'm all down for it, honestly. I love his game so far, and sort of having these co-op required experiences, I am all down for. So I'm very excited for Split Fiction. It's probably my most anticipated game. If we had to put a number on it, that is definitely my number one right now, because it is so close to release and it looks very, very good. Next game we got here, or games I should say, I'm going to bunch these two together because they are sort of graphic adventure games where you make choices and whatnot. So we got Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. This is made by the people that did the original Life is Strange, Don't Nod. And then we also have Dispatch, which is by a bunch of people that did a lot of the Telltale games like The Wolf Among Us and all of this other stuff. So, and that game is also at the Game Awards. So, you know, that was the game that looked like a television show, but the guy is just like a dispatch for superheroes or whatever. So I wonder how that game's going to be. It looks very, very good. And then Lost Records Rage or Lost Records Bloom and Rage, I should say. You know, Don't Nod, I feel like ever since they haven't been working on the Life is Strange IP, they've sort of been trying to figure out their identity and sort of what they're doing in terms of video games, because, you know, they've done a bunch of different projects which have been to varying degrees of success, and this one looks like it's once again going back to sort of like their roots. It's sort of like the same thing when they made Tell Me Why, if you even remember that game. That game came out, I believe it was on the Xbox and also PC, and every single episode released within a week apart. This game is releasing within 2 parts. Part 1 is on February 18th and Part 2 is March 18th. Dispatch doesn't have a release date just yet, just 2025, but those 2 games I'm pretty excited for. Then we got Croc, Legends of the Gobos Remaster. So I actually have it on my PlayStation 1. I just haven't played it yet. I have not played that original PlayStation 1 platformer that is very reminiscent of something like, I guess, like, you know, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, sort of that era of 3D platformers. But the fact that we're getting a remaster is pretty cool, and I'm definitely going to buy that. Definitely want to check that one out and possibly get the physical version of it as well, just for my collection. But yeah, you know, Croc is a platformer series that I have yet to try out, but I've always heard a lot of things about it, for better or for worse. So take that for what you will. Next game we got here is a game that actually came out last year, but it's coming out on the PlayStation 5, and that is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So the reason why I'm excited for this is because, you know, it's the first game that Xbox is very much like open, that they're like, hey guys, it came out on Xbox and PC, but it's also coming to PS5 like later into next year. And I think it's coming out quarter 1, quarter 2 of 2025. I don't know if it has a exact date, but yeah, it's coming out. So yeah, they're being very open about it. So I want to know, how does it perform, and is there any differences? Is there any like enhancements between the PlayStation 5 version to the Xbox version or whatever? And also, this gives me time for me personally to actually, you know, play the games, because, you know, or not play the games, watch the movies. I have not watched a single Indiana Jones movie. My most exposure to the franchise is playing the Lego Indiana Jones game. That's about it. I know there's a character named Short Round because I'm Asian. I hear that all the goddamn time. You know, there's a character named Short Round, and also Ki Hee Kwan, I believe is his name. Hopefully I pronounce his name right. He's a fantastic Hollywood superstar, and he is the one that plays Short Round as well. So, yeah. Next game we got here is probably a lot of people's most anticipated game of the year, which is GTA 6. You know, I will be there. You know, if I had to guess, quarter 3, quarter 4 of 2025, there's no way it's going to come out any sooner. I feel like Rockstar wants to take their time and make sure that when the game does come out, it delivers, because obviously this is going to be on a lot of people's radars. Even if you don't play video games, you know about Grand Theft Auto, and you are probably excited for GTA 6. So, me personally, my experience with the GTA franchise is not as intertwined. You know, when I was a kid, I knew about GTA, but I never played them. Not because my parents didn't want to, but because I didn't want to. And then I played GTA 5 when that came out on the Xbox 360 all the way back in the day. Did a video on that. It's still on the channel. I mainly review just like the story and like the gameplay. And yeah, like it's a really solid open world game. But I wonder what GTA 6 is going to do to really expand that, other than just make the world bigger, right? So that's my really main concern, is like, what are they going to do for the single player that's really going to make it worth the $70 price tag, or whatever the hell they're going to charge it? Because I don't know, there's like rumors out there that they might charge $100 or something like that, something crazy or something ridiculous that a lot of people will be willing to spend for GTA 6. So probably my second most anticipated game of the year is The Ghost of Yotei. The reason why this is my second most is because we don't know when it's coming out, but I'm very much a Sucker Punch fanboy. Like, I love Sly Cooper. If you know me, you know I love Sly Cooper. I love Infamous. I think that was a great franchise that they did after Sly. And now we got the Ghost of series. Ghost of Tsushima was a fantastic PlayStation 4 title, now on the PlayStation 5. And now we got the Ghost of Yotei, built from the ground up from the PlayStation 5, Sucker Punch's first game to do that. And now we got a female protagonist that we are following, and it looks very, very good. It pretty much looks like Ghost of Tsushima, but a lot bigger, a lot better, taking place in a different timeline and everything like that, or a different era of feudal Japan. Pretty excited for it. My guess for that game's release is probably Q3, Q4, 2025, somewhere around there. Maybe even like, maybe somewhere in between Q2, Q3, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited for the Ghost of Yotei just because, like I said, I love Sucker Punch and I think the game just looks awesome. Next game we got here is Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. This is a game that is scheduled to release sometime in this year. We don't know when. Every single time people see this game, they're like, this is a video game? Like, the game just looks graphically so intense. It is kind of ridiculous how good that game looks. And, with the sort of Marvel Spider-Man games, all of that stuff, now that we get other Marvel Spider-Man or Marvel superhero games that are also story-driven, single-player, all of this other stuff, I think that Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra can definitely do that. Having Captain America and Black Panther sort of go against each other and sort of take down Hydra, between two different sides of their sort of factions or whatever. I think that that's going to be very cool. We obviously don't know what the game's going to look like, but they worked on like Uncharted and whatnot that are working on this game. So that can be interesting. I don't know how it's going to play out, but all we know is that the game looks visually impressive. All right, so we are at the final game on my list here, which is Ultimate Sheep Raccoon. So if you guys don't know what this game is, it's pretty much made by the same people that made Ultimate Chicken Horse, which is a party game platformer. You would pretty much make like sort of a pathway to the goal using platforms, and the first one to reach the goal would earn a point. And it looks like they're doing the same thing but with racing, and that looks like it could be a lot of fun. We don't know when it's coming out, but it looks like the devs have been working on this game for a few years now, and obviously anything made by the Ultimate Chicken Horse guys, I'm all down for it because I think that their games are very charming, very cutesy, and a lot of fun. So, more indie games getting the spotlight on them. We saw what happened with Balatro and sort of how that game blew up. So, a game like this probably isn't going to hit the same heights as that just because, there's something a little bit more niche. But I feel like, there's something that if you like Ultimate Chicken Horse and you didn't know that this was coming out, hopefully I was the messenger to let you know that this game exists. So, yeah, that's pretty much all of the things that I'm looking forward to within 2025 officially. Obviously, there's a lot of games that are coming out that we don't have a release date for or a release window, and they could drop within 2025, and games that are being made right now, but we don't know that are coming out. So, it's just like every single year, there's going to be games that are sort of working on behind the scenes, and then they get announced, and then they get dropped off a few months after that. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what games come out this year. What is your most anticipated game of 2025? Be sure to let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys have not already, you can subscribe. I put new videos up on Saturdays. Follow me on social media at TV Sonic Gaming. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, pretty much everything. And you can check out my podcast called the Travis and Damien Podcast, to talk about games, movies, and anime every other week. And yeah, that's all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching this video once again. And I'll see you guys next time with more videos.